Merry Christmas, everybody. We're going to do a super cool episode of Real Talk. This is all Darla's idea. We're going to do some fun facts for 2023.
Because I'm the numbers girl.
Because she's a lot of statistics going here. She does, and it's really informative. And, you know, I'm one of those persons, I'm not going to sit there and freak out about things every single month. You can't. But about every 6 months, I look at it quarterly. Every 6 months, about June, you look at it. And then, of course, in December, we're looking back to see, you know, kind of what we did this year. And so Darla has some super cool stuff that we're going to start with because everybody wants to know all the cool and fancy fun stuff. So what'd you find here?
Okay, so I'm going to start with in the Houston area and all of the MLS. I'm going to tell you what the most highest active current listing is right now, and it's sitting at $36 million, and we're over in Bayou Woods off of Memorial. $36 million.
If Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are watching our Real Talk episode, right, I am Santa's favorite realtor, and I'd love to show you this house in the Houston area if you want to come to Texas.
We will link that in the Facebook Live so you can take a hold of that MLS. It is unbelievable. It is like extravagant, extraordinary, opulent. I mean, everything you can possibly think of.
If you win the mega lottery, call us because we told you about this house.
Yeah, this is sitting at a whopping 26,000 square feet.
So plenty of space for everybody.
Space for everybody. You can have all the in-laws in.
And it's only on 2.3 acres, so this house won't even work for me. Because if I'm going to spend $30 million, I need at least a couple hundred acres. Yeah. So that's just me personally. Yeah. All right, what else do we have? What's the most expensive sold?
The most expensive sold.
This is still available for Taylor and Travis if they want to move to Houston.
Right.
What actually sold? Big difference.
Yeah, we're sitting at about 14.5. Actually, it sold at 12.7. Sorry, it listed at 14.5, sold at 12.7, and that was about half the square footage, 12,000 square feet.
Too small.
Not even sitting on an acre.
But it is in the highly desirable River Oaks
area. And by the way, if you guys have never gone to River Oaks to see the lights, you need to go. There's a lot of traffic. You can stop and get some coffee or some hot chocolate for the kids along the way.
Aren't you allowed to look in some of them true or false?
We've gotten out and walked up and down the sidewalks before, but I don't know of any like home tours that they do, especially at night, because a lot of people go at night, but people are walking around. They are great opportunities for pictures because they have a lot of the hanging lights and they have a lot of willow trees over there. They do a really beautiful job. So does the River Oaks Country Club that's over there.
Well, it's also cool that you can do that, but the weather is actually cooperating, and it's actually winter weather for us. Sometimes we're in our t-shirts and our flip-flops for Christmas.
It actually feels like holidays.
Yeah, it feels like winter. I just came back from Miami this past week, and wow, we did a yacht tour. So there they have super yachts. In case you don't know, there's a yacht, there's a super yacht. They have super yachts. But we did a tour of all of the holiday lights of these mega mansions and these mega yachts, super yachts, and well, that was awesome too. So the money in Miami is totally different. Like this is poverty level in Miami. I mean, it's crazy money in there. Okay, so wow, I just looked at this morning. Darla pulled it up. The most expensive active listing in our area, in the Kingwood Northeast Houston area, is actually in Northcrest Ranch. I used to live in there, and I about fell out of dog's couch a while ago when I saw this price. $8.5 million. I was like, what? So it's 8,900 square foot house, and we are on 24 acres. So I'm cool with the 24 acres. This house is beautiful. We'll have it all. We'll put it in there. It's 24009 pack saddle, but that's a hefty price for Northcrest Ranch. I mean, I lived in there.
24 acres is a lot of acreage though, and that's a 8,900 square foot home, and it is really
pool,
beautiful.
Shop, second kitchen. I mean, it's got lots of bells and whistles, but that's a high price for our
So if you're
area.
looking at that price point, we'll have the link up there for you. Make sure you give me a call, not her. Okay, so the favorite sold. It started the original price at $54.90. It's over in Kingwood West, over in Deer Ridge, and it ended up selling for $3.153. This is 17,000 square feet with 4 acres, sitting on 4 acres over in Kingwood West. It was stunning. I mean, we'll also have the link up there, but look at all of this.
So that's a bargain.
With the pool, yeah, that is a really big bargain. 4 acres over there in Kingwood. Now, we're going to shift it and we're going to go downhill just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit. I told her not to even
Judy
do this.
was like, don't even do this. But I'm like, no, it's
this.
interesting to me because as investors, we're always looking at the lower end of the spectrum because we want to make sure if there's anything available out there that we think we can basically flip it and turn it to an affordable home. We are looking at those because we know how hard it is for our vets and a lot of our first-time home buyers to get into that market. So the lowest price active home right now in Northeast Houston is sitting at $90,000. It's on Betty Boop Street. It's about 900 square feet on a 4,000 square foot lot. And we'll have a link onto that one too. It is a really neat, they're saying they're not accepting any lowballs, so I'm sure people are lowballing this. It needs a lot of work. But in that area, I looked it up over there, and there is some ability for rental income.
Yes, a lot of it. So that's downtown Liberty, and it's really becoming a flip area.
People are moving out there because the affordability is better.
And they like that
there.
charm of those older homes in the downtown Liberty area. I actually had a listing appointment last week in downtown Humble. Same thing. She bought it, and she said when I bought it, it was literally a tear down. And when I walked in, I was like, oh, she's done it right. So luckily that's a new listing coming on. So lots of people are making it super cute.
Sometimes these are really good rentals. They're not something you're going to flip and make 50 grand off of.
Right.
But it's something that you can put a good amount of money into and have it as residual income later on. And then the lowest sold that we have that's a home, not a mobile home, $50,000. It started at 69 and it ended up closing at 40. And it was 1,000 square feet over in Peach Creek Oaks over in New Caney. And it was about 1,000 square feet on an 8,500 square foot lot. And we'll have that link so you can kind of see what that looked like as well. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of
that was a broad spectrum
where your money's going, because $40,000, you think, oh yeah, that should be an investment home, but we're talking 1,000 square feet. Now, what we're going to do in a second, we're going to share some new construction statistics, and I'm going to tell you what 1,000 square foot brand new home will cost you when this one sold for $40,000, and you could probably put $30,000 into it at 1,000 square feet and have a super nice home. Okay. So Judy, why don't we go and let's talk about,
what are we talking about?
2023. These are what we've sold.
So in 2023, it looks like there were, this is just in our area.
Just in our area.
Not the whole Houston. 4,322 homes. The average sales price was $325,912. That's about $149 a square foot. Is that correct?
Yes, it's sold. Close price was $312 on 2,100 square feet. $312 on 2,100 square feet. Keep that in mind.
That's your average sales price.
Yep.
So now what's active? Same area. 1,031 homes that are active on the market. Average list price is $374,000. So right there's a $50,000 difference. So this whole, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is raising, the sky is raising. There's no price drop, folks. Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about the interest rates in a minute. Remember our last show, we were doing against each other. Darla was going to be, I'm going to do the highest interest rate. She's going to do a multiple offer situation. Remember we talked about that? We're about to revisit that again based on the all the statistics Darla's pulling with regard to the interest rates. If you've heard, interest rates are coming down. Prices are not.
So let's look back at 2022 because
long ago.
We always like to look back. Where were we year over year? Where were our numbers? So if we're looking at solds in 2022, our average square footage was 2,200 square feet. Our list price was $326. Our sold price was $322. Okay. So in 2023, our solds were $325,000, and the average close price was $312 at 2,100 square feet. So we were at just 100 square feet difference between 2022 and 2023, and our price change on a per square foot basis, 147 last year, 149 this year. Okay.
Again, the price
went up. The prices are continuing to go up. So let's take a look at new construction, because
that's my favorite thing to
we
sell.
like new construction because a lot of people want the latest and greatest. They want the nicest colors. But, you know, as you know, what you get and the value for your money is you're paying a little bit more for a lot less square
footage.
But we also, our buyers are also changing. So we're also seeing a lot more millennials come into the market as first-time home buyers. And I know from my Gen Yers, they're minimalists. They don't like they don't need a whole bunch of square footage. They don't need a whole bunch of closet space. They really try to organize and pull down what they have, so they don't, because they really care about, which we all do, they care about waste, they care about recycling, they care about not holding on to things.
Well, they want more house. Like me, once I hit a certain age, I want more space and land.
Well, I think they like the details. They like the quality. They like the things not to look cookie cutter, so they want different types of backsplash. They want the cabinets to reflect the current color trends. You know, they like the lighting to reflect the current trends.
Come in and repaint and give it some personality and stuff like that, because builder paint is
but
just kind of boring.
That buyer looks at things a little bit differently. So with our new construction, right now in the Northeast, Humble, Kingwood, New Caney, Porter area, we have 349 current actives. Now, if you want to know where are those from?
So 50 of those new homes are in the Highlands. We've had videos on the Highlands. That's at 99 and 1314 right in Porter. Peppervine, and the price point is $336 to $473. That's your price point in Highlands. That's a wonderful. That's going to be the latest and greatest, biggest community with the golf course.
They have the best amenities around.
Amenities.
You know, if you're familiar with Town Lake, same developer over in Cypress, and Town Lake is fantastic.
The next community is Peppervine. That's right on Highway 59 between Porter and North Park, and they have 17 on the market right now between $258,000 and $324,000. The next one is Tavola West. So in case you haven't noticed, if you're going up 59 North, Tavola was on the right-hand side at the Roman Forest exit. Now, all of a sudden, they're building on the opposite side of the freeway. So that's their new section in there. They have 28 homes in there, starting at $180,000. That's wow. Now, that's going to be a small house, but it's new, and the energy efficiency is nice, and it's going to be affordable. So $180,000 to $390,000.
Yeah, so we talked a few minutes ago about that house that sold for $40,000 at 1,000 square feet. This is right around 1,100 square feet for $180,000. So that's the difference between looking at an investment property and being able to do these really cool things to it and buying absolutely brand new. So you can still invest, spend less money. So,
The
other last one,
Woodland Lakes. There's 23 houses from 236 to 286, and it's off of 1960, north of 1960, off of East Lake Houston.
Yeah, just before you get to the bridge that goes over Lake Houston, you take a right in there, and it's up in there. I had to look it up because I hadn't heard of it. You haven't been on 1960 lately? There's a lot of construction.
They're doing a flyover.
But they're doing the flyover. So that is literally all built. I was blown away when I drove over there the other day. So our new construction sold. So our actives are sitting at 2,000 square feet with a current list average of about $320,000. Our solds, okay, this is what sold over the year. So pay attention to this, because for all of you people that think that housing prices are going down, 1,900, almost 2,000 square feet. So we're off just a couple 50 square feet. The average sold price, $297,699 for a 4.2. Sold.
Same thing, active. Of the 349 that we just told you were active in those various neighborhoods,
the average price is $320.
So that is $23,000 more.
The solds, they sold for $23,000 less over the last year than what is currently active now. $20,000. And that's what we're seeing in the neighborhoods. About every 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 builds, they're raising the prices again. So they're waiting for them to sell, and then they're raising the pricing again.
So if you go in and you're like, oh, we're about to open a new section, guess what's going to happen in that new section? You better buy the last one of the section that they're in right now.
Well, and the other thing that they're wanting to do, they're not going to reduce prices. Do you know why?
Because they're going to give you incentives and money on the
They don't want the appraisal value of any of the new homes that you go under contract with to be priced lower than the homes that they've been selling.
Yeah, because they don't want an appraisal problem. So
They don't
give you
want an
money
appraisal
elsewhere.
problem. So they're going to give you money on the backside.
They're going to buy the rate down, which we talked about, which is wonderful. So again, the price
We'll
is
talk
still
about the
high.
interest rates in just a second.
Yeah, the prices are higher because it's new construction period.
Right.
So that's just a law forever. Your new construction build is always going to be higher than a resale because it is new construction.
But they're offering immense incentives
because of
right
exactly
now.
what Darla just said. They're not going to lower the
They're not
price
gonna
because
lower the price.
that would kind of be like slicing their own wrist. They're not stopping building. They don't care what the inflation is or that this 2024 is an election year. They don't care.
They don't care.
They have had a plan for these new constructions they're building for 2 to 5 years.
Right.
They're building whatever they said they were going to build. It's happening.
Right.
So the prices can't come down. They have to
Right.
stabilize or creep up.
So closing costs, rate buy downs, lower interest rates, upgrades in the home depending on the price point that you're buying at. A lot of the cookie cutter homes, you don't get to choose what you have, but some of the David Weekley's, Coventry's, Tri Points, Highland, I mean, a lot of those you get design center credits.
Right.
So they're doing a lot of different things trying to keep people buying and wanting to buy new. You can always refinance at rate. I would not worry so much about that. Judy has a great, I'm really jealous of it, mortgage calculator on Realty by Judy Hayes. Did I get that right
Yes.
this time, best friend?
Yes.
On her website, it's hard to find, but it's on there. If you look it up, that will really give you a good indication of where your mortgage will look like, okay? So let's talk about mortgage rates right now. So we went from the highest high was a little over 8% this year. Over the last couple of months, let's say 6 weeks or so, the Fed has dropped and steadied the lowering of the interest rate. So right now we're sitting right under 7% right now.
Right. I think I locked somebody in the 6s last week. It's kind of been a roller coaster, but everything we're reading and everything that we're seeing, because you have the Fed prime that keeps coming down. That's not the same as interest rate.
No.
You got to know the difference. Okay.
You
That's
start
not
with prime and then your
and
lender
interest rate.
adds to it.
Okay. So as they're coming down because they feel inflation is whatever they do up there, inflation's getting better. They feel the rates are going to come down in 2024. Nobody has a crystal ball. They're all using their, degrees that they have to calculate, and they're basing it on prior things. And there's really no magic to how it happens.
Well, there's
It
a
comes
balance between inflation.
They don't want to drop it too fast.
Correct.
Because, like we said in our last video, you're going to see the first quarter and definitely the second quarter, because it's always April through October is everyone's busiest season. You're going to fight for those offers again, as we just saw with all of these pieces of paper.
Right.
The prices aren't coming down, so when the interest rate comes down, everybody that's sitting on the fence waiting, remember Dawn and I were talking about, do you want to pay a higher interest rate or do you want to fight in a multiple offer?
Right. So what all of our, because we've got a couple of sources here that we're talking about kind of where they're predicting, because we've got people kind of you can listen to anything and everything on TikTok or the news or whatever, and you're going to get varying degrees of where people think. Macroeconomics, microeconomics, pick one. Everybody's got a different opinion of where things are going.
It's just not going to
It's not going to crash. So what I keep seeing consistently when I do my research is the first quarter is going to stay kind of steady. They're seeing it as we get closer to the election. They're going to see it dropping slowly. They're not going to drop it.
Right.
They had to raise it significantly because they needed to slow inflation down. As we know, groceries are way too expensive. But now we see that gas prices are around $2.50 a gallon, which is awesome. So that kind of offsets itself a little bit. But we're going to see the interest rates come down. Now, we talked about this last time. When the interest rates come down, all the buyers that are sitting on the market waiting for the housing price to crash or the interest rates to come down, all of them are going to jump back in the market. So you're either going to pay a higher interest rate, negotiate all the terms that you want because you're in the driver's seat right now, or you're going to wait and try for that lower interest rate and pay $10,000 to $15,000 over
and not get anything
for the house and not get anything with your negotiations as far as closing costs or buy downs or anything like that. So if you're seriously thinking about it, you're going to want to put a plan together, and we can help you do that. So
the other thing I can tell you just from my personal experience, I have 12 files on my desk. All of them sellers want to list in January. So as a buyer, everything slows down right now. It just does. It's the holidays. Behind the scenes, we're planning a party for this weekend, but most sellers don't want to deal with getting their home ready. You got Christmas trees up, your decoration, your kids are coming in, your family, nobody wants to deal with it. But come January the 1st, I start working on January 1st because my phone starts ringing. I've already got committed clients. So number one, as a buyer, you're going to start seeing the inventory come on, and that gets people excited, okay? Because they're like, I've seen everything on the market. I can't find what I want. But if you do find it, like I said, if you're house hunting and you walk into a house, you're like, well, I mean, it's kind of, nope, move on. Nope, it's not it.
Right.
But when you see the one that you
Right.
want, you need to be aggressive with your offer and jump on it, because if you're looking at 400,000 and there's only 2 or 3, everybody else in the same buyer pool is looking at the same. So when
y'all
they
are
all
all,
start
y'all
coming
are
in
all
the market,
the same thing.
yeah, then the other ones start coming on the market, then there goes that supply and demand again.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm telling you, just from me personally, I'm a heavy listing agent, but 12 listings is a lot. I've got one that's coming on, a smaller one this week, but they're going to roll on and they're going to be some good ones. So
I've got some good ones coming up.
It's
Everybody's
exciting.
waiting until after the first of the year.
And I tell them that. I'm one of those realtors. I'm like, I hope I didn't just, I get them to execute the listing agreement, but unless they have a financial or a medical emergency sort of thing, I'm like, just wait, because I don't want those days on the market tagging onto them. But come first couple of weeks of January, we're going to be really busy.
How many phone calls did you get, or how many leads did you get over Thanksgiving?
Oh, 3 or 4. I mean, not really.
I had 7 people wanting to look during Thanksgiving, like the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
People were wanting to look. I mean, they're off.
Yeah.
There's plenty of buyers out there. They may be kicking tires right now just
right.
to see if the pictures match up to what the house actually looks like.
Right.
And we entertain those, but people are sitting on the fence waiting to jump. And all the things that I see, everything is leaning towards we're going to have another hot year, maybe not super hot like we had in 21, 22.
Well, I think it's going to be better than 2023. I can just tell by what's on my
It's
desk.
going to be better than 23 because interest rates started rising in 23.
Right.
But I think you're going to see, and even now where our interest rate is right now at under 7, if you look at the graph that we get, this one goes back to 1980. 1980. Take a look at that. This is 1980, and this is December of 2023. And look where we are right now. We're trending right along where we normally trend. So the interest rates are not insane. Obviously, people think so because you're just now buying a house for the first time.
Well, what the problem is that the interest rate, but the house went, the price of the house kept going up. The price of the house went up.
Yes.
And so the price of the houses aren't coming down.
Yeah.
They're
if
just
you
not.
see them come down, it's because we have sellers that are overpricing them, thinking that they need a certain amount of money, and they're not going to be able to get it. So you can't always judge those by the rest of the market. And I'll explain again what Judy and I have reiterated a million times. And I talked with my brother about this on the phone the other day because he's listening to all the macroeconomics. He's in the transportation industry. And Texas is a whole different animal.
Right. We're not.
And we've talked to insurance companies. I've talked to lenders. I've talked to other realtors. I've talked to other companies. Texas is a whole different deal. We've got companies moving over here from California, New York. They're coming here.
Yeah.
They're bringing people with them.
Yeah.
Our cost of living, our standard of living is still lower. We still have a ton of land,
Right.
Unfortunately. And
you can't look at national statistics if you're in Texas.
Can't.
You have to really look at your local statistics.
So when you
and
see
your local
something on the
realtors.
news, or you read something, or you hear something on TikTok, make sure you ask somebody that is actually doing the business. Because
Where you are locally.
Where are you locally? Because it's a lot different in Texas, and it's a lot different outside Houston.
Yeah.
Our average price inside Houston versus the suburbs is probably $20,000 difference.
Right.
If you're looking at apples to apples on houses.
We do a lot of rural stuff, and then you've got the Woodlands. I mean, we work the Woodlands, which is one of the most desirable cities in the entire United States, as far as recreation, entertainment, jobs, businesses, homes, everything. One thing that I wanted to do that Darla did not pull stats on is I wanted to congratulate. Look up at the camera. I'm congratulating you. Darla has the largest transaction of Design Realty Group's history of ever.
No way.
Yes,
Do I
and
really?
you do, and we've been doing this for 14 years, and she closed a $1.6 million deal in Cyprus in August of this year. Hooray! So that's a big deal for us. We're not luxury. We're not in downtown. You know, we're not in River Oaks. It's this $35 million. Again, Travis and Taylor, if you're interested, this is not our normal market, but we'll figure it out for you. But that's a big deal for us to have a listing like that. You know, our average price point is more in the, you know, 300s to 500s that we have here. So that's a super big deal. Congratulations on that. It was a stunning home. It was absolutely beautiful. It was. It was super good. So congratulations on that.
So the last thing that we want to talk about a little bit is, I don't know if you guys have gotten your homeowner's insurance and your bill for property tax, not property taxes, but homeowner's insurance and car insurances yet. I don't know about y'all. I'm sure you're getting them. Mine doubled, and I live in a fantastic area with a home that's only like 3 years old. Ended up getting in contact with a gentleman by the name of Matthew Thompson with Goosehead Insurance. Now, he's out of, I think, the Memorial over in that area. But I was able to get him to quote me on several of my personal properties. And Matthew was able to save me some good money. Now, I'm talking $400 to $600 for the year on my cars, homes, things like that. So I'm going to tag Matthew's card in here. Especially if you live out in Cleveland, Splendora, some of the rural areas where you're not in a subdivision, you're subject to a fire rating. I know Rob is, and that can substantially add to your insurance costs. And Matthew just quoted me a phenomenal amount for his insurance. So I want y'all to, if you're looking at that and you're like, I don't know what to do. I called several insurance companies and they couldn't even help me. So I'm going to tag his information here. Make sure you give him a call. He's like super responsive, super kind, and he works for Goosehead, which is a broker. So he goes and looks at several different insurance companies, and a lot of them, I haven't heard of them, but they're big in the rural areas because a lot of the big companies are not writing any more policies this year. Farmers, State Farm, Travelers, Progressive, they're not writing any more policies. And they refuse to write out in the rural areas where you have those higher fire ratings because the risks are too high. So I'm going to load that up there.
If you do, look at it's going up, period. I guarantee it's 120% it went up for no reason.
And he told me today they're going to continue to go up.
And if you had a claim, it's going up more. So let me tell you this. So Ricky and I got married this year. So obviously when we got married, we're like, let's combine our home and auto so we can get a discount. That didn't happen because he had 2 claims and I had 2 claims. So guess what? They wouldn't even approve us. They wouldn't even approve. We're like,
that's my friend. She is.
I'm like, we have an 800 credit score each, and we got lots of money in the bank, and we own our house out free and clear, and they don't want to insure us, but they don't care. Yeah. So, hint number 1. So the claims were small. I had a flat tire. Well, I cut my tire, and I had a BMW. So when I drove it, it was a boom boom, and it ruined the underneath, and it was like a $3,000 claim. Well, you should have paid for that out of cash. And then Ricky had a fender bender, which was like $2,500 on a bumper, and he claimed it. So don't do that.
Making claims when we were teenagers, wrecking stuff. Our parents made claims all the time. You can't do that.
You can afford it, and it's either drive it with the dinged bumper or pay for it. Don't claim it because that just
it's eating us
and
up.
Like I said, we own our house out, and we have 800 credit scores, and I'm like, he's like, they won't add you to the policy. Yep. So be aware, and that doesn't. I think those claims don't fall off for like 7 years. It's crazy.
I don't know when it falls off. Well, even if listen to this, Rob called and made a claim on a pipe that had busted on the outside of the house, and then they came out and looked at it. Adjuster came out and looked at it, but then he decided not to file the claim because he was going to be able to fix it, and it wasn't that big of a deal because he made the phone call. Not the adjuster didn't even come out. He made the phone call, and it went in as a claim. So be careful when you think about that.
I have something else that's on that. So Ricky got in a fender bender, and it wasn't his fault. When you and I said, do not give that person your insurance. And he didn't listen to me because that's what husbands do. They don't listen. And so that person, it was their fault. But because the same thing, he called and they let his insurance know it was on his claim. I'm like, you're not even paying for it. But because you told them there was an accident and then there was a claim number filed, they didn't even pay for it because her insurance, she was at fault. He was not at fault. He had damage, but they paid for it. Went on there. Yeah, don't do that. So if you're in a wreck and it's not your fault, and you know it, I mean, it could be argumentative with the cops come. Don't give out your information.
Always call the cops.
Yeah, because if they have your information, it's going to be a claim, even though it's not your fault. Yeah. Well,
Happy holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas. We might see you guys next week. We don't know yet. We'll see.
We're a little busy.
I know.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.